Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk about Stanley Johnson, the father of the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who is very much into environmentalism. He's very much in favor of net zero and everything else. He was on GB News talking about this, and something funny happened during this interview, this panel debate, because he was up against Lewis Perry, and who's against net zero agenda. And the issue here was that some people said, oh, he accidentally, unintentionally leaked what life could be under net zero. I'm just going to show you the clip and we're going to come back.
It actually means that countries need to divvy up this carbon budget between them, and then they need to divvy up the sectors, and then they need to have the measures which deal sector by sector with getting and if that means actually some of us are told, well, you can't go on a plane, that's fine. That's part of the national plan.
Well, so he says it's absolutely fine if we get to a point where the government and the globalist establishment and the institution will tell us that we can't get on a plane. Where does it stop? Because even not getting on the plane is already too far, because it's not just about tourism and travel, it's also about business and everything else in life. Sometimes you're in an emergency, you have to go to Germany because your cousin's there and is in a hospital, right? That aside, one thing is, that's already extreme, but where does it stop? You might start with saying, oh, it's just a plane. And then next, you can't eat meat. Next, you can't dress like this, or you can't get haircuts, or you can't do anything, right? Second problem with that was the first part of his argument. The first part of his argument, which is about how to implement it. He said, we have to go sector by sector. We have to basically divvy up the whole thing and go intergovernmental. So on the one hand, this net zero agenda is imposed to us on a very, very collectivist level, on a wide level, globally. So it's top down. Even though it's like the European Union, 27 countries inside, but on steroids. It's all countries. And on the other hand, he also advocates for national governments to also do it in a detailed way, sector by sector. You do really, I mean, put aside that, fundamentally, the whole thing's a bad idea anyway. But let's just say it's happening. This is not workable. You can't have top down. You can't have the United Nations, for example, or WF, or COP27, COP28, whatever, making a blanket policy for all countries. And at the same time, each country, each national government also do it their own way. And right now, China is a good example. China, who was invited into the tent. You know, they came into the tent. They were like, oh, we are now dealing with China. We are partners now. They came to WF. They came to all these things. They went to COP26 and all that. And then a few weeks ago, they said, we've changed our mind. We are not going to go with net zero anymore, at least for now. They're laughing at us in the West. They're saying, well, we achieved what we wanted. The West is now shooting us in the foot, and we're still carrying on with our sweatshops and factories, and we're still going to sell, and we're still going to make more money. That's the truth. Who's going to be willing to say it, be brave enough to say it? Don't know. We are going to say it on this channel because we have the freedom to say it. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.